A long, long time ago, there was a princess who was as beautiful as the African Savanah where her father reigned. Her hair was as curly as the thorn trees, her skin as dark as the soil, and her eyes shone like the night stars. She was happy, beautiful, and friendly, and her father was a good king. Then one day, a prince came from a far-off country. He was handsome, young, and courageous. And her father invited him into their home. Very soon, the prince and the princess grew very fond of each other. And the people who liked to tell stories and sing songs around the fires at night began to say to each other, you know what? One day those two will reign over us together. And then winter came. And with winter came the dry season. And the dust. And the river became a mud pool. And the grass turned yellow. And the prince's heart grew restless. I can't stand it anymore, princess. This weather is frustrating me. Out there are countries, many of them, that are still waiting for me to discover them. I must leave. I want to travel and see them all. But we know that this is just a season. The summer rains will come again, and the green, and the water, and the plentiful, and the fruitful land. And the prince said, I know, but I can't stay anymore. I have to go. My heart is restless. But I will come back. I want to go with you, but my place is here with my people. I'll wait for you. And so the princess walked with the prince, and then she stopped and watched him go further until he was just a speck on the horizon, and then he was gone, and she began to wait. And she waited and waited the whole of the winter and the next summer, but the prince did not return with the rains. And then she waited another winter and another summer, and still he didn't come back, and even a third turn of the season. And then one day an eagle came and said to her, Princess, why do you look so sad? My prince isn't coming back. He said he would, and he hasn't returned. Please, eagle, won't you go fly across the earth, across the world, look everywhere until you find him? And when you find him, remind him that I'm waiting for him here. And so the eagle left. And he searched everywhere across the whole world. And when he was about to give up, he found the prince in a mountainous country near the ocean. And he was still young, handsome, and courageous, but he had an embarrassed look about him. And the eagle told him who he was and where he came from, and the prince lowered his head. He said, you know, I was young and innocent, ignorant then. I didn't know then that I wouldn't be able to keep my promise. I didn't know then that I will find this beautiful region, this fabulous place with its mountains and its ocean. Here my heart wants to stay forever. Please, tell the princess I'm sorry. The eagle found the princess exactly as he had left her, waiting. By now, the people had stopped singing and dancing around the fires. They were waiting with their princess. But when the eagle told her the prince's story, she grew angry. You are a bad bird. Go away and leave me. You were too lazy to look for him, and now you're coming back to me with stories. The eagle left, but another 3 turns of the season came and went, and still the prince did not return, and then the princess knew that the eagle had spoken the truth. and she began to weep. Her father bought her new beads, had new clothes made for her, but it didn't cheer her up. The people came and sang to her and told stories, but it didn't help. Still, she wept. She cried so much that a puddle of tears formed around her feet. And then the puddle grew into a stream. The stream became a river, and the river turned the whole landscape into a wetland. And with the water came the fish. With the fish came the fish-eagle. And with the fish-eagle, soon after came the big hippopotamus and the crocodile. And then the buck came to drink water. And the larger game. The people began to make canoes and catch fish. They made beautiful baskets from the reeds. The children played in the water. And they soon returned to the fires to tell stories and sing songs. But the princess wept. And then one day the eagle came back and sat a little way off. And when the princess saw him, she said, "Why did you come back after I was so rude to you?" The eagle said, "The past is the past, princess. Just look up and see what your tears have created." And the princess looked up and she saw the children playing in the water. She saw the canoes and the fish and the baskets and the game and the fish-eagle. She said, "I want to go out in a canoe with my father." Soon after that, the princess, while she was always beautiful, regained some of her happiness, and her friendliness returned. But now she was also wise. And when her father passed away a little while later, she was able to reign over her people with power by herself. Why do we use this story for our leadership training? Why do we use it for Keep Them Safe? Any ideas? Tell me something. Do you always want to be reliant on somebody else to help out your community? Do you want the wisdom and the resources to go on by yourself? Why, Nanda? What does that mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what? It is true. The World Cup is like our prince. It is coming with huge, huge amounts of promise. Promise of jobs, and there would be all sorts of projects that's going to be created, like the cameras in the center of the city of Cape Town and Joburg, and roads and buses and trains and transport and security and I don't know whatever else. Promises, 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 promises. I am telling you now, history has shown, yes, a lot of that will come true, but a lot of that will not be sustainable. Because people are coming and you can be sure they are leaving. And the money that is coming in, a lot of it will leave with them. So a lot of effort is being put into projects and things that will draw the money in and keep the people here. I'm telling you, there's a whole lot of promises that won't be kept. And it's not because people don't mean it. But they don't know what will happen down the road. They don't know what's going to happen and the obstacles they'll face. You have to be sustainable, and this project is about getting communities to care for themselves and find their own resources and see their own potential and their own power and their own wealth. So that when the World Cup is over, we can have something left that is sustainable. And that you will have discovered as leaders that you can lead by yourselves.